And welcome to a surprise video today. So besides the what if, which will be out after I'm done doing this video, or will be recorded after I'm done doing this video, I normally check Wizards of Close daily on their articles page just to keep up with what's going on. Normally speaking, I'm like, whatever. Yesterday I didn't get around to it, and I should have, because it turns out we got our first little hint and look at Strixhaven, School of Mages, if I'm not mistaken, which apparently does take place on a different plane. It's oh god, I can't remember the name of the plane. It's actually not listed in here per se. It's listed somewhere else, but it is on a new plane. And we got our first look at the colleges, the names of the houses, a few images, even a couple cards. So, I mean, the article starts off with, welcome students to prestigious Strixhaven School of Mages. We're glad you've chosen to begin your mystical studies with us. Basically saying, hey, come to campus. Check out the different, campuses and see which college, suits you. Now, what we do learn is that the colleges, each school, was actually founded by an elder dragon whose name each of the schools bear. So Lorehold, for example, is actually isn't just the college's name; it's the name of a dragon. Another one, or at least someone, the Lorehold. Prismari is the red-blue one. So each one of these is the name of an elder dragon. So we're getting the other cycle of elder dragons that we got, say, similar to the Khans of Tarkir block, where we had the ally color ones. So that I think is very cool, and I'm looking forward to my blue-green dragon finally. But so we have the red-white school, which is Lorehold. Leave no stone unturned is their motto. You see a Loxodon here, so we got Loxodons on this plane. And what appears to be an elemental or a spirit coming out of that book. Loreholds are diligent researchers and daring adventurers, passionate scholars obsessed with history. They explore the past, poring over archaeological artifacts and summoning long-dead spirits. For some students, the past is a rich tapestry worthy of disciplined study, while others wear the tapestry like a cape as they jump down into the forgotten tomb. Their motto is "Leave no stone unturned." Now we know for a fact that the commands are coming back. I thought at first these might be for like the commander decks, but no, the commands are within the set, and each one represents the school and what we can kind of see that some of the main abilities of each colleges. So you have Lorehold command, which is 1 white, 1 red, 3 of any color for a rare instant. By the way, each of the schools do have a watermark. Well, when we get to the booster box, you'll see them on the actually, is it in the back end? No, it's not in the back end. They'll see it on the booster box itself. Actually, has the watermarks, but you can see it in the back there a little bit on the card. It's not very big here, but if you actually zoom in on the card, you can find it a bit easier. But anyway, for 5 mana, one Boros, white and red, and 3 of any color, you get an instant rare. Choose 2. You create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Note the spirit does not have flying. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain an indestructible and haste until the end of the turn. You can deal 3 damage to any target. Target player gains 3 life, or sacrifice a permanent and draw 2 cards. Again, the modular spells are very versatile. I mean, if it's me, I'm probably going with, assuming my board state, if I'm playing from behind, I need more creatures. I put a 3/2 spirit on the field, and then I maybe ping something with the 3 damage and gain 3 life. If I am ahead on creatures, I think I still do the 3 life and the 3 damage, but I might sacrifice a permanent to draw 2 cards. Again, versatile, giving you a lot of options. The fact that there's some card draw in this is a little interesting. The fact, because white can draw cards and red can loot, as the term is. You discard. You draw. It can both loot and rummage, which is either drawing cards and discarding, or discarding then drawing. So it does get a certain type of draw. All the colors do, but white can just straight out draw a card. Similar to blue and green, they're the 2 colors that they're the 3 colors that can kind of straight out draw a card without too much, issue. Prismari, express yourself with the elements. Now, should know, I think this is an orc in this image right here, because you can see her tusks. And she's got pointed ears, but she's clearly not an elf, unless the elves on this plane look like this, which I don't think they are. She's also clearly manipulating fire and water simultaneously. Prismari are the theater kids of Strixhaven, which, quite frankly, even though I'm a big Cynic guy, green-blue, well, honestly, I probably would be, I mean, even just going by the descriptions, because I've read the descriptions already, I would be torn between green and, green-blue and green-red. And oddly enough, green-black, of all the colors of all the pairs we have in this plane, green-black is my least favorite of the 5. But the way they describe it, like, we'll get to that when we get to it, but the way they describe it, I'm like, that does sound kind of fun. But no, the theater kids, I was a theater kid. I love theater. So Prismari are the theater kids of Strixhaven. Magic is how they express themselves. I'm going to keep doing that. The spells can be spectacles of raw creativity or meticulous artistic expressions. All the world's a stage, and whether thou art informed by the mind or emotion, Prismari always leave a lasting impression. Their motto is express yourself with the elements. Indeed. Prismari command is 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 of any color. Easily probably among the easiest of the commands to cast, making it probably one of the better ones. Choose 2, deal 2 damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards and then discards 2 cards. Target player creates a treasure artifact or treasure token, or destroy target artifact. So it's probably the cheapest one. I actually can't remember the other commands off the top of my head in terms of mana cost, but it's probably among the cheapest ones. But it's also one of the more restrictive ones. Yes, it will give you a treasure token, so it'll give you some mana. Definitely, you're probably almost always going to go with the 2 damage. The artifact, it's all dependent if there's an artifact on the field. The draw 2, discard 2, that could be a problem. Unless, they're nearly out of a hand, in which case, then you can maybe mill them a little bit. If you really don't like the cards in your hand, if you're stuck with a bunch of lands or just a bunch of crap that you want in the graveyard for other uses, that could work. But still, I mean, it's a good card overall. And that art, it looks like it's this great art, but that art will look fantastic in foil. Oh my god. And whatever the extended art version will look like. Quandrix, math is magic. I would probably have been either this the class or Prismar, if I'm going to be honest. Quandric mages are ingenious math magicians. They study study patterns, fractals, and symmetries to command power over the fundamental forces of nature. They'll solve a Rubik's Cube while contemplating the metaphysical properties of the universe and recite every number of pi backwards. Their motto is math is magic. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do actually enjoy mathematics. I enjoy numbers to a fairly decent degree. Not like algebra or anything like that, but I could definitely get maybe into this. So the Quadrix command is also a 3 mana costing command. I got semicolors and 1 of any color. Instant, choose 2. Return target creature planeswalker to his hand, very relevant. And at instant speed, very relevant. Counter target artifact or enchantment. The fact that it's a counter spell is actually really interesting. I think that definitely puts it over the edge of the other 2 just a bit. Put 2+1 counters on target creature. If you got something, great, buff it up more. And the target player shuffles up to 3 target creature cards, or 3 target cards from their graveyard into the library. So yeah, I think this one's probably the best one so far, and I'm not saying it just because I'm a Simic player. I'm saying it no, from what I'm seeing, the amount of versatility that I'm seeing here, the amount of what you can do and how prevalent it is on the battlefield, does seem to outweigh what you get with the first 2, but we're not done yet. Silverquill, sharp of wit. Silverquills wield magic words, baby, from inspiring battle poetry to biting arcane insults. Stylish imitating, tirelessly competitive. These mages are born leaders with razor-sharp wit and natural charisma that can be used for good or for ill. The motto is sharp style, sharp wit. Kind of doing a little beat poetry there. Silverquill command is 4 mana, Orzhov colors, and 2 of any color. Choose 2. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying till the end of turn. pretty relevant as long as you got a creature. Return target creature card with mana cost value 2 or less. By the way, that's something they did note. They have now replaced Shuffle Your Library with just Shuffle. And they've replaced Converted Mana Cost with Mana Value. I think it's to save on text so they can do more, which makes sense. Absolutely. So for future reference, obviously, if you get confused, just remember that's Mana Value is Converted Mana Cost. Return target creature card with mana value of 2 or less from your graveyard to your battlefield. Target player draws a card and loses 1 life, or target opponent sacrifices a creature. For my money's worth, assuming I don't have anything in the grave, which is possible, I'm probably going as long as I got a creature, I'm going the +3/+3 in flying, and the target opponent sacrifices a creature. But the draw a card, lose a life thing, drawing cards always good. Finally, we got Witherbloom. I love the artwork on this chick. This chick awesome. Witherbloom, get your hands dirty. Witherblooms are goth biomages. So you combine, even though the black-white kids are over here. Wow, that sounded wrong. The black-white factions over here. The goth kids are in the black-green crowd. The goth biomagers. Oh my god. See, that's probably the one part I would be like, nah, I can't do it. I'm not goth, sorry. They draw power from the essence of living beings, whether that means enhancing nature or exploiting it. Witherbloom mages are most at home riding zombie crocs, picking herbs for potions, and hanging out with their inner swamp making grim jokes. The motto is get their hands dirty. See, the whole, I get to ride zombie crocs? That's kind of awesome, and, it's clear that they're closer to Simic, surprisingly, like Ravnica Simic, manipulating life, than the Simic colors of this world is. But I don't know. I mean, they're technically my least favorite color group, but that doesn't mean they won't have some good stuff. Witherbloom command is 1 black, 1 green. It actually is the cheapest of the commands. Sorcery also. That is, I think, the key difference here. Whereas Silver Quill command is also 2 of them are sorceries, 1 of them is an instant, or 3 of them are an instant. So that is the big difference between these 2. Target player mills 3 cards, then you return a land from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Pretty specific. Not impossible, but you're really going to be focusing on planeswalkers, which there are no, except for the original Tibalt, there are no 2-mana planeswalkers. And enchantments and artifacts. Yeah, you're not going to be using that almost ever. I mean, there's going to be circumstances, sure, but you're almost never going to be using that. Target creature gets... This is a weird one. Target creature gets -3, -1 until end of turn. And then target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Okay, that one's probably going to be one you almost always go with. Because it's just going to be a little bit of... As long as they're not astronomically ahead on life. And even then, you might still need the life. And it's only 2 mana. And you're getting another ability. Yeah, I don't know. This one comes off to me as kind of the least good of any of them. I think, and honestly, I think it comes down to destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with a mana value of 2 or less. I think that's what does that for me. It's like, yeah, it really kind of screws over everything. If it said just non-land creature, that if creatures were allowed, I think this might arguably be one of the better ones. But because they're not, it is not. So yeah, I can't say I dig on this very much. There's also, they do talk about the Mystical Archive. So basically, how did they put this exactly? It's a collection of houses we call it the Mystical Archive. The litany of spells from simple and mind spells, the powerful and deadly spells, blah 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 blah. Basically, these are alternate versions of older spells. For instance, Demonic Tutor, Opt, Swords of Plowshare. There's like one of these in every draft booster box, and at least 3 within like a collector's booster box. So there's that. Towards the end, you get a map of the college, of the campus. So apparently the Silver Quills hang up top, whereas the Witherblooms hang on the bottom. Prismaris hang over here. I don't know. I don't think this has anything to really do with their actual like placement in the school, because the campus is this large round thing. I will also say, I mean, like, this looks actually really high tech, all things considered. Obviously, we don't really go into like true electricity a lot of the time or anything like that, but who knows? It's very possible we could be seeing. Like, this looks like a legitimate college camp. Like, look at these buildings right here. Like, this looks like legit, but who knows? Details on Strixhaven. There are a few more. We get the commander decks. So it'll be similar to the Ikori situation where the main commander decks are based from the plane. Strixhaven's packaging. We have Will and Rowan. They're on this plane. I actually thought of something really funny where what if Will and Rowan, because they're twins and their spark is connected among them, so whenever they planeswalk, they got to planeswalk together. What if, though, they both go into a different school of magic? So what if, given her lightning abilities and stuff like that, from what it looks like, I would bet, like, Rowan is probably going to be more like a Prismari. But what if Will decides to go into, like, Quadrix? What if that? I mean, it's possible. What if she goes into Lorehold and he goes into Prismari? I think that's actually a pretty funny idea. You get your everything in your collector boosters, all that's good stuff. The Will and Rowan. So we know for a fact they're on the plane, which actually will beg the question: who are the other two planeswalkers? Occasionally we might get a third, but normally it's three. Who are the other three planeswalkers? We assume Kasmina's on this plane. There is supposedly a leak about some of the blue cards that came out, and Kasmina is allegedly one of those blue cards. But I don't know how legit that is, because it also spoils the blue Phyrexian Praetor is allegedly on this plane. I just don't know. I don't think right now. We don't have enough information to know if those are legit or not. They might be. They very well might be, but I can't treat it as anything except for like rumor at the moment. But yeah, but Kasmina would make some sense. She is a teacher from a school of some kind. This would make sense. But that would unless she's a blue-white card, because she doesn't make sense as a blue-red or a blue-black. Maybe a blue-green card. Unless she's one of those, that would mean you have a blue planeswalker, a blue-red planeswalker, assuming they're both, again, sharing a planeswalker card. So you need a black planeswalker, or you need a white and a green planeswalker to counterbalance that out. And my money would be on probably either the green or the white, because we already had two black planeswalkers in the last set. That's just and technically we had two white planeswalkers too. So that's just my opinion. I think green would probably make the better sense, but who knows? We'll see what happens. That's pretty much it. Well, the problem is this set doesn't release till late April, which means we're not going to really be getting much spoilers until near the tail end of March. In fact, that's how they kind of put it. We'll have that arrive on Strixhaven later in March, more than likely late March. So yeah, ultimately though, I'm surprised we got something on Strixhaven this early, and I am more than happy with what we got so far. I mean, like, this is sweet. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this set. I'm looking forward to the Elder Dragons, what we got for maybe Planeswalkers, assuming that the Phyrexians are possibly going to show up on every one of these planes coming up soon. I look forward to see who the next one is. If that leak is correct, it would be Gataxia, the blue one. I might be mispronouncing his name. But hey, we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Super Magic, what if. Anything you do in the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I'll get that at some point. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Folks, later.